everyone, this is Archive of 12, and today we have another Bardcore song from Jonathan Young. This is his Karlach song, The Devil with a Heart of Iron, which is my personal favorite character. Karlach is my favorite character in Baldur's Gate 3, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing how he handles this, and I'm really hoping that, this leads to additional songs in the future. I'm still hoping for a Shadowheart song. I'm still hoping for a Lysel song. I'm hoping for a Will song. There's a lot of characters out there that I think could easily be covered in Bardcore. I would even love him to dive into like Halsin and what's her name? I can't remember the other druid, the elf druid that has appeared in Baldur's Gate in like previous Baldur's Gate games. Starts with a J. I don't remember her name right now, and that's gonna bother me. But anyway, I would love to have like him cover like those characters as well. Suppose we'll have to see what happens. Link will be in the description below if you want to watch it without my commentary, because we'll be pausing it, we'll be talking about it. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, just like jump right in there. I was expecting a little bit of a build up. Now I understand the Van Helsing style hat on the top of Karlach's head in this artwork. I understand it now. I was wondering why Karlach was wearing that. I'm not saying it doesn't look good on her. It does, but like I was like, why? What's this? But this sounds like a Western sort of Bardcore song, which is interesting to me. It's not what I would have first pegged Karlach as being an inspiration for is like Western Bardcore. But okay, let's see what happens. There upon the riverside you saw her, a fearsome fiend with flaming fucking feels. Ever since you met her, got a crazy fucking temper, and in battle she is always fucking pissed. The lyrics are written in a way that I think Karlach would approve of. Yep. She's carving out a bloody path of vengeance, a barbarian that Baldur's Gate betrayed. Has no fury like a woman scorned, a devil girl with just one horn. You cross her and there will be hell to pay. I love how Jonathan's going all in on like his. I've talked before, specifically with I think it was with Fable's Whitebeard song. I mentioned that Maguire sounded like Jonathan Young in there because he put a lot of deep grit in his voice. And Maguire even said he was inspired by Jonathan Young. So like, I was not too far off on that assessment. I love how hard Jonathan is going with like just putting that grit into his voice and really like commanding the scene. Just it sounds angry, it sounds passionate, and it sounds like Karlach. Like this is the perfect like tribute for Karlach, I think. I'm still getting over the fact that it sounds like an old Western song, but like the way it's written, everything about this besides that sounds like Karlach. You've met some ladies running from their demons, but this here girl is running straight from hell. You really wanna kiss her? She's not a fucking wizard, but a figure she's put you under her spell. She's the devil with the heart of iron. Devil with the heart of iron. You can't drag it back to hell. You've been burning since you fell for the devil with the heart of iron. facts. Absolute facts. Oh, I like that. I like this second artwork. That's adorable. I forgot that he also did this standard Baldur's Gate 3 song, which I still need to check out. I might do that too. Someone else did a Karlach song, huh? Who did this? Cole McGinnis. I have not heard that name before. I might have to check that out. I might have to do a reaction to that one too. This might be a double Karlach song day. I don't think anybody would be opposed to that. So one thing I noted in the Astarion song that he did, what was it, last week or the week before, was that he felt a little too on the nose with what Astarion tells you with the Astarion song. I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing because it's Bardcore. Bardcore kind of requires you to do that. It's different from a standard nerdcore song because of the fact that with Bardcore, you kind of have to really play up what the character has gone through and what they tell you and what they are going to go through, because of the fact that it's meant to tell their story. It's not inspired by, with like just about every other nerdcore song that we listen to here on this channel. Like most of that stuff is inspired by, doesn't really have a lot, like it has enough to do with the character that you get the reference, you get the connection, but it's not fully encompassing the character's story so much as like the idea of the character. Bardcore is different. Bardcore requires you to encompass the idea of the character and tell their story in a specific way. I felt that the Astarion song, while it definitely succeeded in that, was a little too on the nose, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, that's just the nature of the genre, but it was definitely a little too on the nose. And I do enjoy it, but it didn't feel as creative. This one, however, was very simplistic. It was about Karlach. Didn't really cover a whole lot of her story, but it covered enough of it. It's covered her ability to escape from hell. It covered her betrayal at Baldur's Gate, and it covered, like, you know, her rage and her passion. And honestly, that's all it needed to cover. It was relatively generalized, and it felt more by being as unfocused on Karlach as possible. It felt more focused, if that made more sense, because of the fact that, like, it allowed you to get the character without spoiling the story, I think is the best way to put it. Because since he focused on, like, the character personality of Karlach rather than the character story of Karlach, he managed to capture more of who Karlach is and not just her backstory. With the Astarion song, it felt a little too much like you were telling Astarion's story, but you weren't really experiencing Astarion's character. So just two different approaches, and neither one of them is good or bad. For my personal choice, I'd have to say the Karlach song is better, because of the fact that I get to feel more like I have experienced Karlach as a person and not just as a story. So I'm hoping that if he does continue covering other Baldur's Gate characters, which I really do hope he does. Jonathan's been doing a fantastic job so far with the 2 songs that I've heard, and now I've got a 3rd song that I need to listen to, Answer the Call. I want to see him continue doing that and approaching the characters in different ways. I'm hoping if I had to choose, they're approached less like a Starion song and more like Karlach's. But again, that's just my personal preference. But yeah, that was a fantastic song. That was really true to Karlach's character. Even if I don't usually associate her with like a Western vibe, it definitely felt like a Karlach song. So yeah, but that's going to be it for me. Thank you for joining me. I am Arcapa12, and I will see you in the next video.